You ever wondered what retirement really means? Is it the end of your working life, or could it be the start of something entirely new? Today, I'm going to share a few thoughts that might change how you see this next chapter. Whether you're counting down the days, or you're still trying to figure out your own timeline, this episode is for you. But before I jump in, if you are new, then welcome. And if you're a regular, then welcome back to Aging with Grace and Style, where we celebrate the journey of growing older with confidence, grace, and a touch of sass. I'm Valerie Hatcher, and I'm excited for you to join our community of fabulous women as we navigate the joys and challenges of life after 50. So grab your favorite beverage. I have mine, and sit back and let's get started. So this episode, it hits close to home for me because, believe it or not, I'm about to turn 62 next month. And it seems like everyone and their dog is asking me, so when are you going to retire? It got me thinking. Retirement isn't about crossing some magical finish line where you suddenly stop working and sell into the sunset, nor is it about having enough money in the bank. It's about making a choice, a very personal and sometimes complicated choice about how you want to live the next chapter of your life. It's also about being ready in your head and your heart. So, let's talk about it. When should we retire? How do we know if we're ready? And what happens after we take that leap? We'll explore the decision making process and the considerations that go into it. All right, so let's start with the $1 million question. When should you retire? Now, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I thought retirement was simple. You hit 65, you get a gold watch, you start collecting pension and social security, and boom, you're done. But boy, was I wrong. It seemed like much simpler time in some ways, but it was also a time when life expectancy was shorter and retirement planning was more straightforward. These days, there's no one size fits all answer. Some folks are hanging up their boots in their 50s, while others are going strong well into their 70s. Why? Because we're living longer, healthier lives. And that means retirement isn't just about having enough money to stop working. It's about having enough purpose, fulfillment, and yes, financial stability to enjoy those extra years. Retirement isn't about hitting a magic number in your bank account. Sure, financial readiness is crucial. But what about mental readiness? Are you prepared for the huge shift in your daily routine? For the change in how you see yourself? I mean, think about it. How many times have you met someone new and the first question is, so, what do you do? Our jobs become a big part of our identity. And let's not to forget about societal expectations. Maybe your friends are all retiring and you feel the pressure to join them. Or maybe it's the opposite. You're ready to retire, but everyone is telling you you're too young. The key is to tune into what matters to you and to tune out the noise and focus on what's right for you. Now, let's talk about readiness. Are we really ready to retire? This is where we need to do some soul searching. Financially, there's a lot to consider when it comes to deciding when to retire. The first thing that probably pops in our minds is money, and for good reason. Many of us have pensions and social security and maybe some savings or investments. But here's the kicker. Even with all of that, it might not be enough. Will that cover your expenses? And then don't forget about healthcare costs. Those things can really sneak up on you. And here's something that we don't talk about enough, and it's your health. Are you in good shape to enjoy your retirement years, or do you need to focus on your health before making the leap? So take my friend Linda, for example. She retired at 62 with a modest pension and Social Security. But after a couple of years, she realized that the rising cost of healthcare and unexpected expenses were eating away her savings faster than she anticipated. And then honestly, she said she was getting bored. So what did she do? She went back to work. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to stay active and to keep her mind sharp. She found a part-time job at a local nonprofit doing something that she loves, and it's given her a sense of purpose. But beyond the dollars and the cents, are you mentally and emotionally ready to step away from that 9 to 5 grind? Retirement is a major life change. You're going from working 40 plus hours a week to what? Have you thought about how you'll spend your days, how you'll stay engaged and fulfilled? Some people can't wait to leave the stress and the routine behind, while others, they find that they might miss the structure, the social interactions, and yes, even the challenges. What if retirement could be an opportunity to reinvent yourself? Instead of thinking of retirement as an end of your working life, what if it's just the beginning of something new? I know a woman who spent 30 years in corporate America and then she retired at 65. But instead of hanging up her hat, she started a second career, something that she'd always wanted to do but never had the time to do. Now, she's happier than ever doing something that she loves and sharing her passion with others. Okay, so let's say you've decided to retire. What happens next? Well, that's the exciting part. What happens next is up to you. You know, more and more people are working longer these days, some because they need to. Sure, many because they want to. They're starting second careers like consulting or working part time. I have another friend who retired from teaching and now she works at a garden center a few days a week and absolutely loves it. Or maybe, I don't know, work isn't your thing anymore. Not everybody wants or needs to work in retirement. And that's cool too. Some people are ready just to kick back, travel, spend more time with family, or focus on hobbies. Volunteering can be a great way to stay active and to give back to your community. Now's your chance, but we should have a plan. It's important to set some retirement goals, both short term and long term, whether it's learning a new skill, volunteering, or even starting a small business. Having something to strive for can make retirement more fulfilling. And speaking of staying active, let's not forget about staying socially connected. Retirement can sometimes feel isolating, especially if your social circle rather was tied to your work. So make an effort to stay in touch with friends, to join clubs or groups that interest you, or even consider volunteer work as a way to stay engaged with your community. I have a friend, Randy, that I used to work with. He retired, I don't know, maybe about 2 to 3 years ago. But because our friendship extended past work, he still meets like three of us who kind of were inseparable at work for lunch like once a month. So it allows us all to stay connected. Now, let's talk about something that might keep you up at night. What if your pension and your Social Security aren't enough? It's a real concern for many of us. The cost of living keeps going up, and those fixed incomes don't always keep pace. This is where planning ahead really pays off. Maybe you need to look at part-time work to supplement your income. Or perhaps it's time to downsize your home. Some folks are getting creative with things like house sharing or moving to areas with a lower cost of living. The key is to start thinking about this stuff now, not when you're already retired. Trust me, your future self will thank you. So you're going, Valerie, what's the takeaway here? Well, retirement isn't a one size fits all decision. It's about figuring out what works best for you financially, emotionally, and socially. It's about figuring out what you want your next chapter to look like. So before you make any decisions, take some time to really think about what you want out of retirement. Are you ready to leave your job behind? Or do you want to transition to something new? And if you're already retired, are you feeling fulfilled? Or is there something more that you want to do? Remember, it's never too late to redefine your retirement. Whether that means going back to work, starting a new hobby, or just enjoying some well-deserved relaxation, the choice is yours. So there you have it. Retirement, it's not just about money in the bank. It's about being ready mentally and emotionally. It's about figuring out what you want your next chapter to look like. As for me, I'm still working on the answer to that when are you going to retire question. But I do know this. Retirement should be something that we look forward to and not something that we fear. So I hope today's episode has given you some food for thought. Retirement is a big decision, but it's also an opportunity to craft the life that you truly want. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Are you planning your retirement or are you already there? But really, what does retirement mean to you? Feel free to share your stories and your experiences with me on social at I am Valerie Hatcher. And don't forget to check out, I'm going to put some links in the show notes with some great resources related to retirement. So don't forget to check those out. So until next time, my friend, keep embracing every chapter with grace and style. And remember, retirement isn't the end. It's just a new beginning.